Hello everyone, we are a half Chinese Brit and a Siberian Russian living in China. We use our unique perspectives to demystify and translate Chinese culture and lifestyle. My name is Lucien.
And my name is Artem. We are entrepreneurs who made it in China and now we are sharing our experience with you. If you want to know more about our careers and China stories, you should listen to our pilot episode. If you want to know more about coronavirus in China, you should listen to the second episode, which was deleted from Himalaya, the Chinese podcasting platform. They just deleted it because, because we talk about politics, which actually not. Probably when they checked podcast, we don't understand the English. This Russian guy English is so bad we don't understand his accent. It's like delete. Like, maybe they said some bad things about China, but we didn't actually, and they deleted it.
But I think that's very typical of how sensitive people can be here to many issues, particularly when it verges towards policy and policy making.
It's not about people, just Himalaya, just afraid of what if someone, blah, blah, blah. So just,
and that's exactly it, right?
I sent email to them. What the fuck, man? I said, you just delete it, and it's nothing bad at all. It's about efficiency of Chinese measures in fighting with coronavirus. And they said, you better don't talk about politics at all. So, okay. So that's why today we will talk about Shanghai Zoo. Have you seen pandas? Amazing. I love pandas. That's amazing. Or have you seen the new Mulan? Amazing movie. Wow. China is so beautiful.
The topics we talked about today were the difference between living in downtown Shanghai and the suburbs.
Yeah.
We also spoke about what it's like to ride an e-bike, an e-scooter around town. And we discussed the topic of gyms and fitness in China. All right, Artem, so how have you been doing recently? I know that you've recently moved to another part of Shanghai. You've left the city center.
Which you call as a countryside.
Well, it kind of is. In the minds of people who live in the center of Shanghai, anything beyond a certain distance is, to us, pretty far out.
Anything beyond found or club streets, right? So if you cannot reach club streets within 20 renminbi by taxi, it's outskirts. Okay, I moved to Nanxiang. It's not a district. District's actually called Jiadingchu, and it's huge. And the remote part of Jiading is really outskirts. It's almost on the border with Suzhou. But I'm closer to center, closer to Putuo district. And actually, Nanxiang is historical part of Shanghai. It's historical center of Shanghai. It's very old. We have a Laozi there, old town. We have a Nanxiang Xiaolongbao, which all Xiaolongbao was founded in Nanxiang. If not Nanxiang, you will never eat Xiaolongbao at all.
So I haven't been there yet. I haven't been to visit Artem in his new home. So I don't know if this is all propaganda and lies about how wonderful his new area is. But I've had xiaolongbao in the city center. I've also seen some really beautiful historical buildings in the city center. And I don't think I need to go to Jiading, which, by the way, is about 45 minutes by taxi and about an hour by metro.
Nope.
No?
From this area, Jinan Temple, actually. If I go to metro right now, I will be at home 45 minutes, but I'm riding e-bike. So by e-bike, it's 35-40 minutes and I'm home. And the thing is, why I moved actually, because we work both. And I don't need to stay in the office every day. Before I live just near the office. So I always trying to live near the office. I don't want to be a commuter, right? But as we have our office in Shenzhen, I don't need it in Shanghai. So I moved to Nanxiang. And I got a huge apartment. It's really like a penthouse, man. It's huge. It's 2 floors, 2 bathrooms, 200 square meters altogether, I think.
Oh my God, that's massive.
And it's huge for just 4,000 RMB, which is $600. So yeah, it's a good deal. You cannot find this price even there. But I was lucky with the Fandong, so I got this
With the landlord.
landlord.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fandong landlord.
So just to put that in perspective, I'm paying 6,300 for a 40 square meter-ish apartment in the city centre right next to the Bund, which is that very famous Shanghai skyline. So you've got a real comparison between, city centre prices and countryside prices.
No, actually, countryside prices for this kind of apartment as yours, you could find like 3,500, 3,000 in Jiading. That big apartments is still like in Shanghai, in center Shanghai, it will be like 20,000 RMB.
Sure, absolutely.
There you can get it like for 8,000. For 12,000, you can get a villa. They have actually, there are a lot of like townhouses there. A lot of like rich people with their kids live there. So it's more like they have like rivers. It's more like Suzhou, There's a good nature, good factories. Actually, there are still factories. It's like it's so big contrast. At the same time, it's kind of a nature, parks, and then like it's still some factories there. The thing is, when I decided to move out of city center, it was like because I can focus on my work, the first thing. The second, I didn't need pay so much money, and I can get bigger apartment because I'm gonna work from home. So I just like want to have some space. And when I moved there, I realized like how people like you, Kambuchi woman,
we have a prejudice. We have prejudice
like,
against
you
the
moved
countryside.
where? Like Jiading. Oh my God! It's like I'm so sorry for you, man. Oh man! Like one of my friends even said like. Can I help you to find cheap apartment inside a city center? I said, man, it's not only about money. I love to live there. Just like in the evening, I just go for a walk, like beautiful parks. Yeah, you have parks here too, but still not that many people. It's chill. Yeah, the thing is, it's chill.
Mm-hmm. I think this is very much still after effect of the coronavirus, where we've really changed a lot of the things that we do. So we moved out of the office, both Artem and I, we both moved our companies out of the office, out of the WeWork, which is, pretty expensive. I mean, it's beautiful, but it's very expensive. And you have now moved out. And that's actually something I want to ask you about. How do you think your efficiency has gone up or down? Is it okay to work at home?
I worked from home before. And in WeWork, so many people want to talk to you, like you, like other people, like, always try to talk to you, so you cannot focus on your work. I don't procrastinate. I'm not that guy who like playing video games or watching series, so I'm okay with that. But the thing is, I think I got almost the same situation in Shenzhen when our office was like not in city center, because actually like in Shenzhen there is no one city center. We had like office in okay area, but then we moved to another. But my apartment was still near our previous office. And when I moved, and that time I was like, oh, you live so far from this. So, I mean, I don't know. And mostly who says this is foreigners. I mean, like, foreigners are so spoiled in China. They don't live, because like they need social life. Most of them like cannot speak Chinese, or if they speak, they still hang out with foreigners, right? Or like, I don't know, Chinese people who can speak English. It means like this European bars, European restaurants, different like this kind of events. And it's, of course, always in downtown. So they live usually in these convenient for foreigners areas. And they don't live outskirts. Like even from my hometown, 40 minutes by transport, like public transport is nothing. It's not like far away. In Moscow, commuters spend for 2 hours and changing like first you take a bus, then you go to metro, then you change 2 times in the metro, then you get in bus again. Wow, after 2 hours of like traffic jams, like full metro, you are at your office. So I think in China, with this developed infrastructure and transportation system, you don't feel any discomfort living there. Even like metro, I think it works so well, and even in rush hours, it's not that bad as you see in that freaking videos, when people push all the things.
I think Japanese
yes,
style,
the Japanese.
Yeah.
People think it's the same in China. No, actually here, even in traffic.
In rush hour.
In rush hour, this still not that bad, right? So, and when you have electro bike, so I'm okay.
Well, I'm very glad you're okay. And I think that's really a testament to how good the transportation system in Shanghai is. all over China is very good, but particularly Shanghai. They've now got the world's largest metro line. It's incredible. They're actually pushing out into other provinces. So I remember when I came traveling in 2008, there were, I think, 4 or 5 metro lines. And already 12 years later, there's now 16 or 17. And that's incredible. So what kind of people live there? I mean, I'm sure there's lots of families and locals there, but are you one of the few young people who've moved there specifically?
So for sure, like people with family, but there are a lot of young people because like there are still some companies who have offices not only in city center, right? And there are some big companies and there are some factories, not like that factories with a huge pollution. This kind of factories is outside of Shanghai already, but some, electronics, something like this. They're still there. People work there. People live there. And there is enough young people and hot girls.
Okay. I think you're completely right. It is possible to live in Shanghai's outskirts and still enjoy a pretty good social life.
I don't think so. That's the thing. I'm not that in need of social life now,
It's still convenient enough to come to downtown as and when you need. Right, yeah. It's not like a huge pain
like
to come over.
60 renminbi by taxi, which is like less than $10 and 40 minutes, and then I'm there. It's I don't know. I don't feel any problems and discomfort about this. I'm actually happy that I moved there, and for sure, there's not that many young people. There are a lot of families. There are a lot of locals who like got their like new apartments because before there was like a countryside. They bought the ground. They bought their like houses and then demolish it and make the new buildings and they give them. So there are a lot of like local people who live in a kind of cool apartments because they got it for free. That could be an answer when you're asking me who lives there. Okay. So because before it was, I think.
Well, that's really cool, but I'm not sure I could do that because I think that I'd be sacrificing a lot. It's not just about going out and partying because I don't do that anymore. But when I come to a place, I want to feel like I'm in it, right? So that's why I very much decided to live inside the city center, but again, in a fairly local area where there's very few foreigners. I didn't want to come to China to just feel like I was back home again. So I really feel that I have a fairly authentic Chinese experience.
What? There are a lot of foreigners in the Bund.
No, not at all. Not where I live. There's very few foreigners live at the Bund. Maybe they'll come as tourists.
Yes, tourists.
Yeah, but sure, but so what?
You go out and everywhere tourists. It's crowded, it's traffic jams. And the thing is, like, I don't understand. You don't go out a lot. Mm-hmm. You're not like socialized. Yeah, you meet for like events, whatever, but you never go to bars, you never go to clubs, you don't even go for like, you listen to live music. So I don't know. This is why actually, you need to live in city center?
What Artem just said the last few lines is actually him just being very mad that I keep rejecting him every time he asks me to go out and party with him.
No party. I mean like really live music. For example, at least live music.
Who's to say that I don't do that, but with other people. Maybe I just don't do it with you, Artem.
Okay. Ha ha ha.
Ha 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 ha. The thing is, so many companies have their headquarters in downtown Shanghai, right? So clients, meetings, they're all down here.
Nope. You know, where's Tripcom office or Tencent office or like they're all not in the like right in the city center.
Where Caohejing, right?
Different areas.
Where's the furthest meeting you've had for a big company in Shanghai?
I think somewhere like near Yangpu is like up north there. Yeah.
Yangpu is still not that far though. It's not like Jiajing.
People don't understand what are we talking about at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
okay.
Well, I mean, Yangpu is significantly closer than
Shanghainese people. Yeah.
Well, Yangpu is significantly closer than Jiading. Anyway. Now that you've moved, I know you're very proud of your new e-bike, which you're riding around town all the time.
It's not about be proud of e-bike, but I just like realized how convenient it is, you know? It probably could be not that convenient if you need to charge it like on the stations, you know, or have some like a special parking space. But there is removable battery, and that's amazing. And I just like take this battery home and charge it for the night. Just actually, you need 5 hours to charge 100%. And then you again go for 60 kilometers range. And Nangxiang from here, again about like, is it far away? It's just like 13 kilometers from here, just 13.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, this battery is enough, like 2 times go to Nangxiang and come back to Jingnan area. And it goes like maximum 45 kilometers per hour.
Wow.
Which is not that fast, but you don't need faster in Shanghai with this traffic, you know.
Sure, because
And
you start, right? And there's
Yeah.
actually 13 kilometers in a straight line would be like, on a bike would be like, you know, a few minutes actually.
Yeah, but there are a lot of traffic lights. A lot. I hate
Okay.
it. So if not traffic lights, it will be really super fast. But still, it's convenient. The thing I love about Shanghai, because like in Guangzhou, most of even e-bikes are prohibited. The same in Shenzhen. And here is like, it's convenient. Everywhere is lines for like e-bikes. And the thing is like, it's for in Shanghai with these traffic jams, for sure, like e-bike is an amazing thing. And I'm thinking about like, when I will buy a car, it probably will be electro car because it's amazing. I don't know. It's so cool to understand that you are not like using gasoline and all those things.
That's really cool. But what about other things like the license or the prices and the renting, you know, these kinds of things?
Actually, I'm renting it. I didn't buy it yet because I want to try it on winter time. Actually, I think on winter it will be super cold, so probably I will return it back. It's 350 renminbi, which is like just $50. Yeah, $50 for 1 month, and I don't need to make any deposit, anything. Like just like I use this bike for $50 per month, and it's new, it's good. So it has license plate. Yeah, you need registered, but the renting companies take care of it. Actually, you cannot ride, 2-person cannot ride one electrobike in Shanghai. So even you have a space for another person, you could be fined 40 renminbi, like $6 for this.
Really? I see people riding double all the time.
Yeah, now I also take another person with me when it's not rush hour, when police is not there. Or now you can notice how people sometimes before the traffic lights or some crossroads, one of the person get off the bike and then go by foot and then sit again on the next side of the road. So they, that's the trick.
Have you done that trick, Artem?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, right. So you're
criminal. I'm a criminal.
You're admitting to a crime live on air.
No, I actually paid one time a fine, 40 renminbi. There was a guy like, hey, come here. And like, I didn't see this. And another guy, it was nighttime almost, like 9:30. And I was going back to my countryside, to Nangxiang. And there is one place, is construction work. So it was crossroads, but the only one road was work. So no cars can come out of there, like literally. But it was traffic light, and it was a red light. And I crossed the red light. And then the guy, like a police guy there, just like in the night, 9:30, in like godforsaken road. Really, no one usually there. It's like, you know, like this Gonglu. It's no one
What's
there.
a Gonglu?
Gonglu.
What's it? Gonglu.
Gonglu.
Gonglu. Okay.
What is Lu?
Gonglu.
Gonglu, like
they're working on the road.
Public roads or something.
Okay.
It's like different types of roads, different, like Gaosu, Gonglu, Dajie, and you know. He like was looking at me like, Hongdang, like red light. I said, sorry, yes. I was preparing to just pay because like it's not that strict for electrobikes. If you like on the car and like cross the red light, it's like more strict, right?
Sure, but like you said, I mean,
bicycle is like 50 or 60 maybe fine also. So, but he said like, this is China. I said, sorry, this is China. Go. So he let me go. He didn't find me. I think if I start to speak Chinese, he will find me. He just like thought like, it's too complicated. Start to explain this white guy like how it's working, and I need to like, it's 麻烦, 太麻烦. So just
太麻烦 means
go,
too much trouble.
Go. So it's So I'm a criminal and,
and you've admitted
bad rider.
You've admitted it on this podcast.
Biker.
I mean, still, I know that e-bikes are super convenient, and I think actually most of my friends have them, but I still refuse to get one just because the way that people drive their bikes here is insane. Like, it really looks like chaos.
Actually, Shanghai is much better. Yeah, but the thing is, when you have like a real bike here, you like have the same responsibilities with a car, you know. So like even real bikes cannot go the same line with bicycles and electro bikes.
You mean motorbikes?
Yeah,
real
motorbike.
Bikes. You mean motorbikes?
Yeah. So, but for electro bikes, and it's still kind of not that strict. You still can sometimes pass on the like zebra line, or like, you know, the penalties is not that strict. So yeah, in this people who riding like electro bikes, or these YMI guys, delivery guys, it's a bit messy. Yeah. So, but I know you need to relax and feel the vibes. But the thing is, you never relax. You never relax because guys here, like, even on cars, sometimes they don't, for example, turn on the turning lights, right? Guys on the bikes, they don't use it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like 90% don't use. So suddenly he want to like turn right, and like you turn right, and you didn't know about this, you know? Or suddenly he want to stop. Just stop because he has a call. But all the line is going, and then you stop. So you need to be prepared for all cases. Mm-hmm. So that's why you don't need to have a high speed here also. But you know what? Because they so chaotic, but they don't have a lot of traffic accidents, you know? Because why? Because no high speed. With my 45 kilometers maximum, I overtake like most people who even have more powerful bikes. I can see like, you know, these delivery guys, for example. No, these guys are fast, in a good example. But other people, they just, even they have a more powerful bikes, they still riding like 30 kilometers, 25 kilometers. They don't hurry. They don't have this like speed rush or speed need, you know?
Need for speed.
Yeah, need for speed. Because like in Russia, like everyone, like, I don't know, on cars or motorcycles, like we have this proverb, which Russian doesn't like high speed? So kind of, not proverb, but this sentence. So everyone in Russia like high speed. So, I mean, like, it's messy, this minus, but it's not high speed, so you are safe.
So I think the other reason that I wouldn't ride an e-bike is because I have a very good friend, and he basically treats the scooter like a moving chair, right? In the sense that he is now basically always sitting down. He's either lying down in bed, sitting on his sofa, sitting at the desk, or sitting on his scooter. Like, he's basically never walking. And he was telling me that he's gotten so lazy that even to get to the shop from his house, which is about 30 meters, he'll just get on the bike instead of walking the 30 meters.
Yeah, I throw my rubbish with the bike.
So I think he's particularly lazy. I think he's kind of quite proud of his laziness. But I think that bikes can make you far more lazy than you originally were because they're so convenient.
But faster. Actually, you don't need a driving license for electric bikes. That's why it's easy to take.
Yeah, but that's one of the other things, right? So at least with motorbikes, you need to pass a test. So there's all these like millions of people riding around wild on these e-bikes, and they don't actually know
how to ride
it. I mean, it's pretty easy. I've ridden my friend's one a couple of times, just up and down the road. But still, like, they don't know about the regulations and the rules and the laws and when to turn and when not to. And you can see it because they turn wherever they want. They stop wherever they want. They go on the pavement very often on their bikes. So, I mean, it's still a little bit messy, but as you say, it's super convenient. It is convenient.
But I have a car's driving license. Do you have it?
No. You've got one in
English.
China?
No. I have a Russian one, which is like international version, which I can use everywhere in the world except China, because like China is special.
Yeah.
The thing is, their rules is almost the same. It's, for example, even I can use my driving license even in Britain, which is like different directions. It's opposite, right? Traffic. But in China, even like it's almost the same with Russia, I still need to go and pass the test. If I have international, like my own country driving license, I don't need to pass the practical test. So I just need to make this test online, like on computer, that I know the rules in China. And actually I can pass it even in Russian language, but Russian translation is horrible.
Really? Because actually that doesn't surprise me, because I know this guy who's been in China for about 15, 16 years. He cannot speak a word of Chinese. Literally cannot. He cannot read, he cannot write, he cannot speak any Chinese. But he drives a car.
You don't need it.
And yeah, this is the thing. I mean, he lives in a town probably about 2 hours drive away from Shanghai, but he works in Shanghai. So every weekend he drives there and back, and he can't read any Chinese or speak any Chinese. So I always wonder, like, what if you get in trouble with the police? What if there's a road sign that you don't understand? Like, I have so many questions about this.
There is no words of signs outside. This is a sign. That's why it's like not for reading. You know, the only one thing is like character man is like slower or like something like this. But usually it's still the sign. So you just like remember the sign. So you actually just need to know signs. And you barely see any police outside, like on the roads. It's all cameras. There are few situations when you can see police guys outside. It's when it's anti-alcohol checks. And
Yeah, I see that quite a lot, especially late at night. Police will be flagging down cars and then doing breath checks.
Yeah, so I spent more than 8 years in China, right? Almost 9, wow. And then I didn't pass the test yet. And all this time I had a Russian driving license because I don't need. Because I always have been living near my office, and here I getting like electrobike. I just like don't think I need to spend my time in traffic jams here. But now I want to pass this test because our new travel project and the YouTube thing, I want to rent a car and drive by myself in rural districts in China. So now, I mean, like next time we can talk more about driving license and like passing this test, and translation in English is actually funny and the question is funny. I started to prepare, and probably I will pass it in October or November after 9 years without driving license in China.
Okay, so one of the reasons that we haven't released a podcast for such a long time is actually because I've been away. I've been filming a TV show which will be coming out very soon.
Dating TV show.
Well, not quite, but it's a Mango TV and Discovery Channel joint venture. So it's going to be broadcast in China and 42 countries around the world. So by the time you hear this, I will be
Superstar. And probably the last episode.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll be famous. I don't know. Who knows, right? I left shortly after Artem moved to Nanxiang, and he took on this new lifestyle, this new regime. So I've always been into the gym and health and fitness, and I talked to Artem about it because, you know, he was like...
I started go to gym with you.
Oh, yeah.
WeWork.
Yeah, we used to go to the gym together.
And then WeWork shut it down.
And then WeWork shut down the gym inside the building. And so Artem stopped. But anyway, so I've always been impressing this upon him. So I come back after a month and a half, and Artem has just become way bigger. I mean, noticeably bigger. Like, he fits into his shirts a lot better. He's got way better posture than before. He used to be this weird, skinny little geek freak. And now he's like this Russian muscle man. and the transition has been incredible.
Okay, this is like too extreme in the both sides. In the sides of like a little geek and the side of muscle, a big guy. So you need to like, fuck.
Okay. Anyways, so I use this app called Shred on my phone, and I really love it because it gives me exactly what I need to do. It shows me what I've done before. It tracks the weights that I've been using. It sets me a specific goal and so on and so on. And I've been pushing him to use it. And you did download it, right?
I downloaded, but then it became such a routine. Exercises could be different, but the coach is the same. The interface is the same. Is every time the same app. And I don't know, it's like boring for me. Every time I was avoiding gym just because of routine. I prefer like maybe some sport, some where it's like competition element, something not with yourself competition. Okay, today I will like get more push-ups or whatever. I don't know, it's not motivating enough. So I start just like to use YouTube. Every day I have different coaches. I just like changing different channels and like okay, today I want to have a workout with this beautiful girl. Tomorrow I will with this guy. Oh
this
my
beautiful
God.
Man.
Yeah, beautiful muscle of man. I'm like, okay, yeah, and you can choose. Just as interesting. Like some is funny. On morning exercise, what I do, sometimes I put like the old USSR morning exercises, like 30, 40 years old with this. Yeah, it's so fun. So I make it fun. And the same, again, I moved to Nangxiang and then I have more time for focusing. I don't know, it's like really kind of rebuild my mind. One big plus of big apartment. I have so much space to do any exercises. So I have stairs and I can like hang on the stairs and do these pull-ups. So like big apartment, Nangxiang, I don't know, all this atmosphere let me start to make workout. But I don't want to go to gym yet because I don't need it. But you go to gyms and just like I want to ask you how many people go to gyms, the Chinese people, because like still I think it's booming now. Many Chinese people start to go to gym, but I don't think it's still very mature industry in China.
I have some thoughts and some insights on the gym industry in China. I mean, number one, I really like
insights from a changing room.
Well, yeah. But I mean, I'm really into the gym and I've done a few sports projects with clients as well. So interestingly, around, let's say 10 years ago, there was a big boom of gyms in China. And then 5 years ago, there was this big boom in people thinking that sports would really take off in China. The issue with exercise and sports is actually you still have to expend energy. You still have to spend time, energy, you have to be motivated. So actually a lot of the gyms, they face pretty bad business. So you've got, on the one hand, you've got the mass gyms and a lot of them have closed down. And then you've got the boutique studios and they're doing okay, but that's really based on having very high prices and a very loyal customer base. What I would say about the Chinese fitness industry is that the accessories are doing a lot better than the gyms themselves. So Nike is doing way better than gyms in the sense that I can go and spend 400 RMB and buy a Nike jacket and I'll look and I'll feel sporty. And certainly I can take pictures and put it up on my social media and everyone will think that I'm really sporty.
I think it's the same everywhere.
But not to the extent it is here. I think here is still very much more image focused than anything else. I mean, like when I go to the gym, you'll see people like basically not doing much. Like, I remember actually I went to the gym.
They just make selfies. It's the same.
I mean, of course not everyone, but I remember very clearly I went to the gym and this lady took a naicha, a milk tea in with her. And she was on an exercise bike, but moving at like 1 cycle per minute and just drinking on this naicha and playing on her phone. And I was like, what are you even here for? Right? Because she's not doing anything. But anyway, the point ultimately is that there's a big disparity between sports brands thought they could earn and what they do earn, because it's still a cultural thing, right? It's still a social cultural thing. I think now the younger generation, people younger than us, they're very much into sports. And
But they're not into gym.
yeah, I think gym and sports, both basically into exercise, both into physical exercise. But people older than us, they're not, right? So the gym memberships, just like back home in England, I think almost all of my friends have a gym membership. Not even because we're especially into the gym, we just have it and we go to the gym 2-3 times a week. But we're not like meatheads.
But I think it's also about your wealth, because in Russia, like gyms now getting popular just because in big cities people still getting richer and it's becoming more popular. Yeah. But before, even now in smaller cities, people don't understand why you need to pay to gym. Like me, I don't know. It's not about money. It's about like I can do it at home. But for many people, they really don't understand why you need to pay to go to gym, because like you can do this like outside somewhere or like at home, and you can buy some dumbbells and do it at home. So I mean, like the gym culture in Russia is like, I don't know, coming from Soviet Union, I think. But our gyms were like not expensive, sometimes even free. Sometimes some people just made it in your basement, and so by yourself, everyone bring what they have at home, I don't know, somewhere. They make their equipment sometimes really like handmade equipment. Then they do it, you know, like so make it easier and don't need to pay, not like these fancy gyms with a personal coach, all the things. So I think China had before the same problem. It's not only cultural difference, it's again about money. Still, like not that many people are rich in China, and for them, like spend, let's say, even 500 RMB per month on gym is quite high price.
Sure. And I think that then reflects how interested people are in the gym in China. So, and this is a little bit of a generalization, but I feel that in the West, where some people take the gym very seriously and some people just take it as a normal thing. Here in China, you see a surprising amount of like really, really big guys. I mean, like massive. And they're like, it seems to me like if you're into the gym here, you're really into the gym. Like really, really. It's about getting big, not just about being fit. Right. And I think,
But from my experience, many, like, let's say girls, they don't like really big guys. They look at them like on the freaks. I mean, like, it's again about generalization. But from my experience, because like I'm skinny, I have been always skinny. And the thing is, like, most of Chinese girls, they don't care about that so much. And even many of them even like it. They say, I love skinny guys. And they say, I don't like these big guys. It's like I scary of them. I like scary. He's so big. He just like literally could like how to say, like
destroy.
No,
break.
I mean, like, yeah, it's like he's literally break it. So I mean, like, for sure, like every girl love muscles, like abs, and when you have this good form, right? But I mean, like, not heavy weight and heavy muscles, the big thing.
Well, maybe that's what they say to make you feel better about being a skinny freak, right?
But I think you can see it not only from what they say to me, but if it matters, like white skin, they will do all to change it, right?
Well, ultimately, I don't know what it is about this kind of hobby mentality. Sometimes I think it's because there are so many people here, and so it's very difficult to differentiate yourself, right? There's 1.5 billion people, and if you're Chinese, there will be someone who is almost exactly the same as you, right? Whether it's name or height or size or whatever. So how do you differentiate yourself? I think that's why sometimes people get really into these hobbies, like whether it's the gym or it's dance or cycling. Anyway, that's a topic for a different day. I understand what you mean about how girls perceive guys' shape here. I think they can be a lot more forgiving if a guy has a belly or they're a little bit fat or, these kinds of things.
I saw that huge guys who are like into gym, they like spending, I don't know, all their free time in gym. So they are getting addicted to these hobbies. But in general, it's still when, for example, in Russia, when guys go to gym, it means they for sure want to gain some weight. I mean, muscles, gain. This is the most, like, 95% goal. And in China, they don't have this goal. I mean, these guys who like addicted, this is one part, but there are not like that many guys who do this. Most of them I saw, they just go there to get fit, and you said like because it's about image, it's about like, oh, I'm so cool, I'm going to gym because like I don't know. It's one of a standard of a modern good guy.
This topic, I don't think I agree with you on. I still think that the majority of the guys who go to the gym here, certainly in Shanghai, they're there to get big. I don't think people are just doing it for general fitness. Maybe they'll go for runs if they're into general fitness. But if you're going to the gym, it's because you're trying to get big.
Okay, I don't go to gym, you go to gym. you know better. I getting it from perspective of my Chinese friends, and who like even goes there. They don't have this because there is no demand on the gaining weight. I mean, like from girls again. Who is the biggest like trigger? Who is the biggest trigger always for gym? For girls and for guys. Really, like not for all, but many go not for themselves. They're going to attract opposite.
Sex. Yeah, sure.
So in here to attract the opposite sex for Chinese, I mean, let's talk about Chinese guys. They not value that much, like say ass, for example, like a really fit ass, like sporty ass, is getting now popular, but usually no. They more like will more value boobs, like, you know, and after plastic surgery you cannot like get the boobs bigger like in the gym, not that much, right? So I mean, like the fit sporty girl is not that valuable here. I mean, like it's cool if she is like this, but if not, no one cares. The same as you said, like a small belly or like skinny guy is not the, let's say, not top 5 features for you. Or
I think ultimately in China the pressure on guys to look good isn't that high, but on girls it is very high. That said, I think that is starting to change, particularly within certain communities.
You have been going to gym here like for a long time. I mean, before it started booming here, this industry. What is the difference like in like past few years?
Well,
what I mentioned from like not gym guy, there is like more and more promoters outside, and then when they see foreigner, they're like chasing you the whole way because they think every foreigner, as you said, actually they're right. You said like in the Western countries, like almost all have a gym membership, right? So here when they see foreigners, they changing them. Oh, gym. So I see a lot of more and more, and before. Like in the shopping malls, there were not that many gyms. But now every new shopping mall have at least one gym. So I can see from this perspective, it's booming and this business doing well.
Well, fundamentally, it's a real estate play. And in China, anything that's related to real estate and rent is a tough business. In terms of how I've experienced gyms, well, I actually came here for the first time to Shanghai in, I think, 2008. And I did a 1-week gym membership. I remember it was so different to how it is now. Like the form, the way that people used to do weights. I mean, it looked really dangerous, actually. I remember the toilets used to stink of smoke. And Chinese people really love to smoke, and so much less now than they used to. But people would finish a set
and a break.
Go for a smoking set and then come back out to do another, to finish off their exercise session. And now I almost never smell smoke in the gyms. Certainly in my gym now and other gyms that I've used around town. I mean, now they'll smoke, but in the like stairwell of the building. They won't smoke inside the bathroom. So I think that's also like a cultural thing where smoking has become less okay in the public space because it disturbs other people. But also, I think that people don't really smoke in the middle of their session anymore. They'll smoke after. Actually, I remember very clearly talking about smoking with a couple of local friends, and they were like, well, smoking doesn't affect your health. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? And their line of thinking was that going to the gym or running or playing football won't be affected by smoking. I thought that was such a surprising thing to hear. But ultimately, I think people are becoming way more aware of their health, way more so. And you see that from, the adverts for, whether it's cosmetic or medical or, dental or insurance, whatever it is. I think people are becoming way, way more aware of health, and certainly in the big cities. And also one last thing is, what's really fun is because I live near the Bund where lots of people like to run, you'll see that a lot of people are into exercise, but there's some of like the young guys, they'll be wearing all the gear, right? The headband, like the smartwatch, and then like special like bands and strap around their knees and stuff. And then you'll see like some old guys who are doing the same pace, and they're just like running in jeans. I mean, straight up like running like office shoes and jeans. You're like, wow. Actually, you realize seeing this contrast, no one needs to wear special clothes for anything. I mean, when I go to gym, I just wear an old t-shirt, right? But the more you're here, and once you actually start buying those gym sets, those gym clothes, you kind of feel more empowered. You feel like a sporty person. Like you feel like you want to go do something with these new clothes. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the thing is, China is still quite sporty nation. I think so. I mean, like maybe not that generation like of 70s, 80s, but the people who like older than 50, they're into sport.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think 70s, 80s, it dropped down a lot. But the older people, they love to wake up very early in the mornings. They'll do their Tai Chi in the morning. They'll do dancing in the evenings, in the squares with music. It's actually a very active nation. I think it dipped, like you said, in the 70s and 80s for people born in that era.
And even young people, it's maybe they don't do that active Tai Chi Chuan or something like in the parks, but it's okay on the weekend to go and climb the mountains or like make some trekking at least, because it's kind of, I don't know, it's cultural thing. Go to the mountains on weekends and somewhere. And for this, even like, let's say you go 2 times in a month hiking, it's already good. Like for one weekend, you just hike.
Yeah.
And jogging, I mean, like everyone runs here. I think like a lot of people run in China. And the thing is, before Nike and other companies come here, the guys were just like in the factory areas. The workers, as you said, like they was just like wearing a jeans or their like work clothes. They just go running. They didn't know anything about like special apps, whatever, like special clothes for this. They just went for running. It was okay. When we say about like shape and all the things, when you do it for like your appearance, maybe it just like coming to China. But originally it was quite sporty nation. Always. If you compare Chinese life expectancy, it's quite high. And especially if you like notice the like incomes and the healthcare system, even before it was poor country, and they live quite long if comparing with other developing countries, like even with Russia.
I thought it's actually the life expectancy in Russia is pretty low.
Really low.
Yeah, so why did you say even for Russia?
I know.
Should we be comparing to like Japan or something? Anyway, I think I understand what you mean, but at the same time, you've got to remember the people that we see on the streets is like a fraction of the people in China. One, because we live in Shanghai, and that's very different to other cities. And number 2, our old office building had like 4,000 people in there. Where I live now, there's probably about over 1,000 people living there. And you'll only see like 100 people on the streets, right? Like running. So you've got to remember that. But also at the same time, there's this the habits. Right, so actually a lot of people smoke. And when I was younger and we used to come to China when I was a kid, God, everyone smoked. I mean, more people smoked, more men smoked than not, I would say back then. I mean, really, it was so bad. But then they also have these like very healthy habits like, Tai Chi, drinking tea, rolling those balls around in there, those metal balls that they like to roll around. These kinds of things. So it's this weird disparity between...
And food.
Yeah, and the food is... The food can be pretty healthy as well. So it's very interesting how they balance these two things out. And I think actually one of the biggest blights on China is smoking. It's still a terrible, terrible thing. And so many.
I don't know about real numbers of Chinese people who do at least everyday workout in gym, outside, at home, whatever. But I can see old people and like older people, that's like 50, 60 years, they're quite active. They really active and they go out, and you cannot be that able to move if you don't do it in like when you're younger, right?
So ultimately, I would say that the thing in China is about being healthy. You don't have to be like massive with loads of muscles or anything like that. It's just about pure health, like
natural health.
Yeah. And so that's why they, whenever they look at foods, they're always like, well, this is good for your joints, or this is good for your brain, this is good for your muscles, this is good for your skin. Right? So like this health, rather a physical fitness, rather than a focus on physical fitness like maybe we do have in the West.
Actually, I just realized that Chinese people are into body positive. Really? And this is trendy now. While gym is coming here, all the world talking about body positive. You don't need to have like a very fit ass, like, or girls can have a small belly. Even big belly is okay. I mean, like, whatever. It doesn't matter how you look like. It matters how you feel like.
Okay. Body positivity is something that I think is actually not very healthy at all. I think it's just an excuse for people who don't want to go to the gym to make themselves feel better.
Okay, this is a big topic. Now I find the way to describe Chinese attitude to gyms, at least like previous generations.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually at the same time, like they are very direct when they're like, wow, you're so fat. Oh, 你好胖哦. Oh, 你好瘦啊. They'll say stuff like,
and they don't got offended about this because it's okay.
It's just a statement, right? But they still notice it.
They notice.
Right? They notice it enough to say it.
Yes, but people not get shamed with this. That means like it's normal to have a belly. You can got like belly. They say, oh, you're getting fat. But that means it's nothing like so bad in it. Like it's just like a fact. But in why it's not polite in Western cultures to say something about appearance, because we like really have, you don't feel good when you have fat or you have a belly or a very skinny guy. I mean, like not all people feel good about this. They cannot change it because of their health condition, or maybe they're lazy. I don't know. It's different factors. But again, sometimes this, I think body positive is a good thing. I mean, like it doesn't put you in these frames of a society standards.
I wish this was a video podcast and you could see my eyes rolling to the back of my head when you say that.
Okay. We stop on this, or it will be like endless conversation.
All right. Thanks, guys, for your time. We really appreciate you listening. And we would really appreciate if you left some comments and ideas on our Instagram and LinkedIn's and so on. You can see the concept is changing a little bit. We talk about a few topics that we've come across in our lives recently, and then we expand those topics and go into more detail.
Yeah, because we realized after just like searching for China podcasts, it's almost about business, technology, some like big companies, like some really general and big topics. It's too high from the daily life.
I completely agree. The topics...
Yeah, and my new body, muscle and
body.
Surprisingly... so many new things all over.
A surprisingly muscular body. And your new e-bike.
Yeah. And my new apartment, actually.
New everything, right? Actually, everything is new. Everything that you've got now is in the last 2
Young
3 months.
Artem. Let's call it Young Artem.
Okay, so that's actually true. So new apartment, new bike, new body, new life.
And we were discussing amazing, because you were like I don't know where on some show and nothing happening. Maybe you becoming star and maybe not. While I'm getting new things every day,
Actually, that show is coming out on the 27th of September in China, and I think on the 8th of October across the world on Discovery Channel Asia. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm actually very, very curious as to what the effects will be. In terms of almost in this kind of anthropological kind of study, because this is my industry, right? I deal a lot with small celebrities and influencers and media, and I'm interested to see what happens when I actually put myself in that experiment. So we'll see. And that maybe will be a topic of conversation for one of our next episodes.
Okay.
But then Artem will have to pay me to be on that episode because I'll be a star by then.
Okay, yeah, let's...
and also, if you want to contact...
if you want Lucien stay in this podcast, we launch a crowdfunding campaign now on Kickstarter, like a young... Yeah.
Just be honest and let us know how we can improve, because that's all it is. It's all the time improving and learning. All right, thank you very much. My name is Lucien.
And my name is Artem.
And together we are
Young China.
Fuck, I forgot to say it.
It's like in a school, It's like a teacher. Young China. We are like team.
All right. So my name is Lucien.
Blue wolves. Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much for listening. My name is Lucien.
My name is Artem.
And together we are
Young China.
All right.